Right? If you hear a child's voice, don't be lulled in by it. It's not always a child. Demons and bad spirits use them to get to you.
Is it the little girl? Is it you, the little girl who's here? Can you touch the ball for me? Can you move it?
Number 2, when you're doing an EVP or the spirit box session, always leave 10 seconds in between each question to give anything a chance to answer. Can you move my lights? Okay. Can you move them again? I was about to ask again, but there we go. Try not to get too emotional because things can become attached to you when you let your emotions get the better of you.
It all tallied up with things that didn't even exist. Well, there was a sort, so there's kids hiding there's a cubby up, there's no cubby up, living room. So he said, I'm never the staircase, and we used to hide on it. Oh, what are you talking about?
Don't show fear.
Okay. Well, that's been pushed.
How did you all get together then?
Well, number 1.
Wes was on the couch, right?
These two had the right idea to start collecting stuff just to do in the house, and then they'd go somewhere and then they'd take the stuff with them, and then they were like, well, why not just do it properly? And then I only got on board because they can't even switch a computer on between the pair of them. So.
And number 3, I thought, hang on a minute, I was on this pain management programme and I knew this great photographer. That's my head.
Being a family.
No,
Was she pissed?
Yeah.
No comment.
No, that's the only way to get into way paying me.
So when did you set this up?
Thursday.
So you set the Facebook page up on Thursday and already you've got
60 members, I think it is.
60 members.
but we've already got about 500 members from my Facebook page.
It's America, isn't it? Like
Yeah, but there's not
Australia.
much you can do with them, is there?
No.
We just applied for liability insurance because without it we wouldn't be allowed in any public buildings that are not in use anymore. In case we broke something or we got injured, the council don't want us suing them. So there is actually a ghost hunting liability insurance.
I was just going to say, it's getting liability insurance. Taking it very seriously, aren't you? Getting liability insurance, you are almost like a business.
Sort of, but we'd never charge.
Are you ever worried that by doing these investigations anything could follow you home?
Well, I've got a blessing and he
Yeah,
keeps the Bible by the way.
that's what you call it. That's another thing. If you do come on an investigation, it might attach itself to you. It could be something demonic. It could be something like just silly, like a disillusioned spirit that's got no one, just runs in the earth. It might just like come home with you.
Might just like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's best to like seek advice, whatever faith you are. Just seek advice.
And literally, as you're leaving, you tell it it's not welcome to follow you. Even if you've heard nothing, it's best just to be on the safe side. Even skeptic, it is best to just say nothing is allowed to follow me. You do not have my permission. Just to be on the safe side.
What's your thoughts on like mediums? Like Derek and Cora and stuff like that? Fakes?
Yeah.
All of them?
No. When he done Michael Jackson,
He did do a special feature. Was it for Sky One? He done a feature-length documentary.
And then, what's it called? He was trying to find Madeline. You know, Madeline. That was disgusting. Yeah.
Wesley Shore.
No, I'm just voicing my opinion, right? He tried to what's it called? Find Madeline. Disgusting.
So your views on Derek O'Cora, you're not a fan?
I hope
Wesley
he dies.
Shore.
He's a local lad as well, isn't he? He's from the Beetle area.
Wesley Shore.
I hope he dies.
Yeah,
a horrible cancer death.
So you think he's fake?
He's fake. He's fake.
What got you into studying paganism?
I don't know. I just always knew I wasn't Catholic.
Yeah.
I'm Christian, but I always knew I wasn't packing in. I always knew I wasn't. Just something didn't feel right, and I met someone and they were a pagan. We started talking. I was like, but I believe her. But I believe her. So it just clicked into place. And sleep.
Yeah. So do you not believe in God? You believe
I've
in
got
something else?
there's different deities. There's gods and goddesses.
Right. Okay.
So there's all different. Like they're not. You know the way in Christianity you've got God and He's the man. It's not like that in paganism. It's more earth-based and they're more approachable than what the idea of the God is.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's really hard to explain it. It's taken me days to sit and explain it.
Yeah.
Have you seen the film The Wicker Man?
I have. Yeah.
Right. Well, that was actually done. They burn an effigy,
Yeah.
but not a real person.
Right.
So it'd be more symbolic. Like a goat that had died naturally, they'd use the skull
I get
as an
it.
offering rather than slaughter the goat to use the skull.
Yeah.
So, and yes, we do use voodoo dolls.
How long ago was it when you decided to put this into action? Obviously, your interest of the paranormal. When did you think, we're going to form a team?
It was a good few months ago, and we were literally in the mornings talking about it, and he come up with shit.
Well, you come up with lips.
Lips.
Doesn't sound like, does it? Lips. It sounds like a,
Too
what do you
girly.
call it? A brothel.
Litherland Investigation Paranormal Society. But he kept saying no shit.
What would you do if you found proof, unequivocal proof, that there was something? Would you show people?
Yeah.
Would you show people?
Yeah, show
Even-
people.
Even I'm thinking like, if you put it online, for example, or something like that, you wouldn't mind the skeptics.
Yeah, you're always going to get that. Yeah.
Oh, you're always going to get, oh no, that's Photoshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're always going to get someone saying, even if it is the figure of a man standing there, you're going to get someone saying,
It's something
I can't
else.
see nothing.
Yeah.
You are going to get people like that, and you are going to get people who just down and out say, you're a liar and you've done this yourself.
Does that annoy you? Is that all it
It's
is?
their opinion.
It's, yeah.
I know what I've got, and I know what I've heard. So it's their problem, not mine.
Yeah.
No, I think I'd be more peeved off if I was like, the Pope and someone come along with proof that there was no God. I think that'd be more people than you.
Basically, a couple of rules because number one, safety is first. Number two, when you're doing an EVP or the spirit box session, always leave 10 seconds in between each question to give everything a chance to answer. Right? If you hear a child voice, don't be lulled in by it, it's not always a child. Demons and bad spirits, use them to get to you. Try not to get too emotional because things can become attached to you when you let your emotions get the better of you. Don't doubt your team members' experiences, the personal experience, because that's just what it is, personal experience. If they say they felt touched, you felt touched. Don't take it personally if you hear growling. Someone say, get out, I hate you, or leave. Don't show fear. If you smell sulphur, smell of burnt matches, tell a team leader immediately, because we need to quick scan of the area and then move out the way of it.
Why?
Because it's not a very good sign of sulphur. It usually means that it's a bad spirit. It's something not good's there. So if you do smell sulphur, obviously none of us have got matches, so it's not a good sign at all. You can't get through on the walkie-talkie. Get to the point where the torch goes like that. Tallest member of the team, put it above your head, and basically do it in 360.
Does anybody else notice that the wind stops? But when you start to talk about the sulphur and the children's voices.
Yeah. Right, which, don't read too much into it, we're in a tunnel. The wind's going to pick up round there anyway.
No, just take it back.
By the way, I'm probably faster on these crutches than you are walking. And here will be a really good place to do an EVP session because of the acoustics of the dome shape. No, not in fashion. See, as you see, you don't get nothing off stone. Oh, hang on, we're flickering. We're flickering. Could you make that happen again? That's 3 times now. Come on, you've done it. There we go. Aye. Can you make it go up any further? Thank you. Thank you so much. Are you male? Are you female? You are. We're going to move on now. Oh, okay. You want us to move? Okay, we'll go. Thank you for your help. It should not be doing that. There's no electricity at all. Really good. That was really, really good. There's no electricity lines above us. There's no electricity where we are at the moment. So for that to light up is extremely good.
Hello.
We're going to move on now, but we'll come back to this place in a bit, yeah?
You just seen something by that tree there?
Yeah.
The one on it too?
Wow, that's a strong one. Hello. Are you angry because we're standing on your grave? Not better? Well, whoever you are, I apologise. Is that better? You're not happy at all, are you? You feel very nice here, actually. Bit of an odd thing.
Yeah. What's that? Yeah, stuff in here. Mary Louisa.
You hear Mary? You are? Is it Mary we're speaking to? It looks like a child was it looks like it's a child's grave, I think.
5 years old.
5 years old. Do you like this toy? You can play with it some more if you like. Let me see if we can get it all the way to the red.
4 years old.
A little bit higher. A little bit higher. Daddy. Did you have brothers and sisters? I bet you missed them lots too. Thank you. Will you come back again soon and bring you lots to play with? Okay then. See you shortly. We've just had a play date with a child.
Really?
Yep.
A 4-year-old child.
4-year-old child. We've just had a little play date. She loves the K2 meter.
What happened?
Goes over, we were standing over there and K2 meter was going mental.
Right.
So we put it down, we had a little bit of an EVP session. We moved along and Kev noticed a strange looking little monument grave.
Just looked like rocks piled up, getting smaller.
It looked like a cairn.
Top.
Then when we used to do the cairns with the decks. So we goes over, puts the K2 meter on and it was just going wild and I was asking questions and it was lighting up with the asked questions, but I had the digital recorder going at the same time, so.
Do you want to see me video?
Could we revisit this place? Yeah, we'll do that, man.
Yeah, definitely. Right, I will quickly show you how to use the voice recorder. It's so easy, but you'll need to like...
press record.
No, you don't. It's not as easy as that. Can you get both in? There we go. Hello?
Yeah, it's moving.
Can you see it doing it together?
Yeah. If you want a few of us to go away, just have the lights go a bit higher.
Or do you want to play again? Do you leave your session, Michaela?
Yeah.
Something is making noise. Yeah, can you hear that? Like,
Can you sing this a little bit more? No, that's not. That's clapping someone else.
Michaela, it's on a sweep. It can't pick up one station.
Sounds like dance music. Turn it off for a minute.
That was nothing. You jumped then.
Congratulations, you're on the road.
Right. Picking up too much interference, but it was the first sweep. You could hear it sounds like a child singer.
Julie, Michaela, this is S.H.I.T's first official investigation. How do you think it went?
Really, really well. I think we're going to record some really good stuff. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Did you?
Yeah, if there's anything following us, just stay here, please. Do not follow me. Or Kevin.
you can follow me, that's fine.
No,
No,
we can't.
just say no. I'm being serious.
You should always, basically when you finish the investigation, always tell there is nothing allowed to follow you home.
Okay,
Everyone who's been on investigation
Don't
needs
follow.
to say that, basically.
Say don't follow me home.
Don't follow me home.
Okay, then I guess that's it for tonight.
We'll go and you tell not to follow us.
I've already said.
No, you never.
Part of me wants to.
But what if it's horrible and you take it home?
I don't believe that'll happen personally, but I'm open to the idea of it happening. I don't know.
Purely for documentation.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Good luck when you're sleeping tonight.
Yeah, I kind of wouldn't mind seeing if something would happen. I don't know if that's irresponsible of me, but I don't think anything will happen. But everything I've seen tonight, who knows? Okay.
that's been pushed.
Dad, pack it in. And Dad threw the lamp up where's yesterday on Saturday as well.
Really? How do you know it's your dad doing it?
The curtain. Curtain's been pushed.
So one thing as well I'm really interested in getting to know more about is why exactly do you want to be a paranormal investigator?
Help people.
The living or the dead?
Both. Some can't pass on because they don't know how. But as for the living, if you've got you've got a little girl yourself, if you've got a child of Lissy's age, which is what, 5, and they're seeing something, you need to find a way to explain that they can't hurt you, and you need to help them pass. Obviously the child's not scared. But some adults are just as scared. In fact, sometimes the adults are more scared than what children are, because children's brains process it differently.
Yeah.
To them, a lot of the time, it's just their imaginary friend.
Yeah.
Whereas adults, the brain's being taught to process that's wrong, don't believe it, and if you can't explain it, it's scary. Which it shouldn't be. I've seen things and heard things for as long back as I can remember. I mean, as you saw before the lamp.
After reviewing some of the footage there from the St. James Garden investigation, would you call the investigation a success?
I would do, especially with the K2.
Yeah.
Got some good EVPs, although they're quite hard to hear, but when you listen, you can hear them. I'm really happy with it. Most of us had personal experiences. So yeah, I'd say it was a big success.
You do believe contact was made?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially with the little girl.
Do you believe there's a way of enticing spirits when performing an EVP session?
You can antagonise them.
Antagonise them?
And shout at them, call them names. I mean, I plan, as you say, with this couple who said when things are changed. So as long as I get permission off the homeowners, I'll get someone to move a chair. And I'll basically say, right, I'm leaving that there now. And it's not going back where it should be. Or just slightly move an ornament round.
Yeah.
And basically say to them, well, what are you going to do about it?
There are other ways to draw spirits, or I think, Wes, you believe there's other ways to draw spirits in than antagonise them. I was going through a few EVPs the other day on the computer, and there was a recording of yourself talking about curry. What was that about?
That was Julie's mum. She loved the curry.
Can't wait for that curry to turn up. Ooh, God. Who would love to eat a curry with me? Pity we didn't get no chutney.
Mango chutney she loved. My mum would actually come through and say, yeah.
Because it was one of the last things I made for her before she passed away.
Yeah, it was about 3 days before she passed. She phoned Wes up and said, would you please make me a curry? And he made her a curry. Rice turned out perfect. He's never been able to do it before or since. Make decent rice. But this last
goes
meal,
all soggy and clammy and...
But he made it like
sticky.
saffron rice and, what was it? Butter chicken.
Butter chicken.
You homemade this? Cooked it yourself? When you done the EVP session, did you cook that? Was that homemade?
No, we ordered that.
The same water out. It can't be like put it under the tap because it gets colder obviously. You take the temperature and you put them in 4 corners of the room.
Yeah.
And you go back and take the temperature again. Now theoretically they should all be at the same temperature. Yeah, but if one's colder or warmer, you know something's interfered with it. We've actually done that before and it's worked. Yeah. You got your laser grip pen?
It's just a standard laser.
Don't put it in your eye.
Right, okay.
Right, that's another tool. If you put the camera towards it,
Yeah.
and then you can see if something passes. Can you see?
Yeah.
If something passes in front of it, it'll block out the light.
Yeah.
And you can actually get some really, really good footage with it. Spirit box. It just sweeps. It just sweeps different radio waves. Turn this on for you. Theoretically, when you ask questions, you'll get a random voice come through.
Right.
But it sweeps. It's like 150 sweeps per second, I think it is.
Sounds like dance music.
So there's no way that it could just settle on one radio frequency?
Congratulations, you're on the road.
They're brilliant because when you're asking the questions, you can cover ask your question, and when you take it off you get a clearer. Saves having that constantly in your ear. That was altogether 75. We have got EVPs.
Right.
On this one, the only thing is this doesn't go into a computer, so you literally have to just listen to them.
Yeah.
So if you want to listen to one now.
Yeah, if you've got a one there, that'd be great.
Right, what it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, and the young lad next door knocked, absolutely petrified. Now, we didn't know we'd done paranormal investigations, but he knows I'm a witch.
Yeah.
Right, so like he said, "You're being disrespectful, you're a witch, aren't you?" I went, "Yeah," and he went, "Someone in my bathroom," and I thought he meant someone.
Yeah, person.
Yeah, and he went, and as a turn, he disappeared. I was like, okay, so I only took this in, and I just asked it to leave, but I asked it if it had a message for anyone, and it said Wesley. But Wes wasn't with me. Right.
It's a woman in this bathroom. Do you have a message for Tommy? Right, well basically, you're not welcome here. You need to leave this place, and you need to give this boy peace. End of story. If you just go so, then tell us.
There's no water running in the bathroom, by the way.
We're going to leave you now, and what's your name, Jack? Jack is going to open the window for you to leave peacefully. Thank you and blessed be.
No, you can't hear it. It's really, really faint. It does, I'm telling it to leave.
Do you have a message for Tommy?
Where's you weren't well when we last came around?
That's right.
What was wrong with you?
It was gastroenteritis.
Ah, right.
I do suffer with it quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. My partner keeps nagging me to go and see a doctor, just in case it's something worse. Which I'm going to do because
I know you are.
I had a bout of it for 2 days, just for disease.
Yeah.
It gets that bad, it puts me in bed for days.
Yeah.
So I have to go and see a doctor about that.
So are you looking forward to the next investigation?
I am, because I believe it was a really good one. You should all get an experience. You had an experience. It turned out to be Kev.
Oh, you twat!
So the next investigation, it'll be in an actual house, in a house built in the 1700s. A lot of history there.
During the Second World War, when Liverpool was getting badly hit, they used to provide buses for people who lived in built-up areas near the docks and things, and they used to all camp out on Lord Derby's land. And I know there was quite a few deaths, like natural deaths, like through illness, where all pensioners, but they'd literally go and sleep under hedgerows.
Yeah.
And I know there was a couple of natural deaths on Lord Derby's land anyway.
Yeah.
Plus the amount of time he had it, there's bound to be a lot of deaths before that anyway.
Do you anticipate when we go there that you'll get some good readings?
Hope so.
So I went in the living room a few days ago to get just a book out of the magazine rack. There was no TV on, there was nothing on, no heating or anything. And I bent down to pick the book up and I heard...
Was it you
just,
again?
Yeah. I just ignored it because we're just used to it.
Yeah, that keeps...
So let's just put
So the keeps moving.
No, I get, when I talk about it, I get a feeling, you know when you're cold and you shiver?
Yeah.
I've just got one.
It goes through me. I'm all tingly now. Now Brian's had the experience where he's felt a force to the point that it was waking him up of a night.
It's overpowering. I mean, it's like it's as though you're being. It's like somebody drilled a hole in the head and injected you with something.
Would you feel it's demonic?
It's. Do you know, to some degree, possibly. I don't know where you draw the line. I mean, I wouldn't know the difference, but it feels like it's.
Does it feel threatening?
I wouldn't say threatening. I wouldn't say that. It feels extremely strange, and you feel like, and it's not just doesn't come and go. It's there. It's right there, and it's building up, and it's in your whole body, but it comes from the top downwards.
You see that?
You know.
You see that going to the third one across then like that?
Yeah, it's literally whatever we're talking about is in this room, and I can feel it.
I felt it go back cold in here.
I said that then.
I can feel it.
You see?
Yeah, I'm the same. See, that's how I feel, and it's
Well,
like an
it's
electric.
It's like
an electric pulse.
Your whole body goes like over inside, from the inside.
Did you put that
feel
on
like
your camera?
But that's
No, right.
That's actually happened to me quite a few times, and about probably a couple of months ago, it was happening quite often. It hasn't happened for a while now, but it was happening quite a lot, and it's a really, really strange feeling.
Do me a favour, love. Write that down, what you said you felt.
It's like someone just opened the door.
Stuff's been happening in the kitchen more though. Like, do you remember when I was in here the other month, Mum? And the dog was jumping up at the table, and I turned around, and as I turned around there was a hat on the table, and as I turned around it dropped. So she was jumping up, there was a hat on the table, and as I turned around it was like the hat was lifting up and then it dropped as soon as I turned around.
So it was in your peripheral vision? As you saw it?
No, I just, because I was at the sink and I could see her in the corner of my eye jumping up. And then as I was walking this way, I looked here, because she was just jumping up here. And then as I looked, I saw the hat physically drop, as if it was being lifted up, and she was jumping at it, trying to get it.
It's like a cold spot here, you know.
Why is it important for Michaela to be writing these things down, Julie?
Because with it being personal experiences, Michaela mentioned what she felt before you told her how you felt. So Michaela's reiterating the feelings that you get when you're in the house. No, you hadn't told Michaela you felt like that. She felt it, and
then I said it.
We all got the goosebumps at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether you know, but females are a bit more sensitive to these sorts of things. So that's probably why us three.
And I'm quite sensitive anyway with stuff like that.
Well,
I've probably why we felt it, and you said you still felt warm.
I've been tapped. I've been tapped. I've been touched. I've felt that on my face. But it doesn't frighten me. I'm not in the least bit frightened. I actually, sounds a bit mad, but I actually talk to them. Because I go up into the loft and I'll say, it's only me. I'm not doing any harm, just getting something out the loft. Because I feel safe doing that.
Yeah.
And then I get back down the steps. And then I'm back to safety.
So, but would you say that was more for your peace of mind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because Brian's actually seen orbs in the loft, haven't we?
Would you say the loft is the most haunted place of the house?
I don't think there's anywhere in particular. It's just things happen where they happen.
Do you get different feelings in different rooms?
No, same feelings.
No, not in that room. You're having a laugh.
What, our room?
Completely different feelings. The
Well,
whole
that's
house.
yeah.
It's not a nice feeling. In
Well,
that room.
when we first came here, the door used to lock itself, and you've got to physically lock the door. You can't slam it. You can slam it, test it.
It's one of the original doors.
You've got to physically lock the door.
I mean, I'm sure you know the house.
Apart from the
The house was built in 1749.
apart from the fitness of the house, right, was there stuff when you moved in?
Look at
was
that.
there like
Look.
objects? Look.
They're both going off.
They are.
I've got this one's going off on.
Was there objects in what way?
Like
in
with
the
any,
house,
When
you
you
know,
moved in,
in-
that draped with
in
that
the-
many times like that as well.
in the early centuries, they used to put things in boxes underneath the floorboards and behind the walls.
Did you find any shoes or clothes?
And
Like
clothes
buried?
and
No. Now,
trinkets
as far
and
as we
stuff.
know, there's no basement here. But we beg to differ. Because there's a concrete floor in the living room. And when we'd not long lived here, there was no carpets down. And you know when you stamp your feet, when you stamp your feet and it sounds hollow underneath,
Yeah, please.
that's what it was like. And I said to Brian, I thought this was a solid floor and there was no basements, but we think that there's something under the floor in the living room.
See, houses like this didn't usually not have a basement.
Yeah, that's what we thought. But there's definitely a hollow floor at the front part.
What happened there was
legs started burning up.
you started feeling heat on your legs.
Yeah.
At what point was it a trigger word or
It must have been that question just asked.
what question was it?
Was there objects in the house, right?
Yeah.
Just felt the back of my legs like when they were burning up.
Have you been getting an uncomfortable feeling in the house
Yeah.
since you got there? What does it feel like?
Just feel like I want to go on.
You don't feel comfortable?
No.
Do you feel up to proceeding with the investigation?
Yeah, I'm going to proceed with it, like, you know what I mean?
Right, okay, well, obviously take a moment to compose yourself, and when you're ready, just come back in and join us.
Because this was during our investigations ourselves to find out a little bit about the history of the place. Because we understand it's an old house, but it's not what it seems in places.
And obviously, we've spoken to other people in the past. Clairvoyants, what are they?
Well, one was a medium.
Mediums. You know, we've sort of
of
had people in the past who've sort of ventured in here, you know, over the years. And there were quite a lot of things that he said, which we weren't aware of. You know, there's been a fire, there's been this, there's so-and-so. Don't know about that. And these fellows who came in, who we contacted, nothing to do with this guy, totally in isolation. They were explaining all these things that this medium had said. He said, oh my God, so the story, two totally unrelated people, it all tallied up with things that didn't even exist. Well, there was a so-and-so, there's kids hiding under, there's a cubby up, there's no cubby up in the living room. So he said, I remember the staircase, and we used to hide under it. Wow, what are you talking about? So, you know, this medium had described the scene. He described a lot of things which don't exist now. We think, well, we don't understand. Oh, there used to be a staircase, there used to be this, there used to be that. So when these fellas come in, who used to live here during the war, they were saying, oh, there was this, there was that, and we were tying up to what had been said. And it was just so weird, so strange.
So a lot of unrelated people have tied up in the stories.
Yeah. Very, very unrelated, yeah.
Right, I'll take you to the living room first.
Well, that's good. Shut that door behind you.
This is where I feel cold spots.
Oh, it is dark, isn't it? On the flat. Can you smell it? Yeah.
Do you want a bit more light on?
No, thank you.
Do you want me to get the spirit box out?
Yeah. Right, the device we're going to use now, it sweeps radio stations but doesn't pick up any.
Sound like dance music?
It sweeps over 2,000 radio station per second. So there's no possible way that you can just pick up Radio City or Radio Merseyside. And as you said, it's a very bad coverage area for anything like that anyway. And what this device will do...
What's it going to do?
Can you see that? Yeah, what this device will do is it'll just pick up odd words.
And everyone will be able to hear it, not just
on the recorder. You'll actually be able to hear, well, hopefully. It'll sound like white noise. That's all it is literally the white noise. But it will pick up, hopefully, something. Is there anybody in the room with us? Can you tell me your name? How many are in this room with us right now? As you saw, it's not picking nothing up, but I have just gone really, really warm.
Mum.
I'm coming.
Feels like someone's sitting in the chair. Does that chair ever move?
Yeah, looks like it.
Oh.
Ooh,
Feel it?
not nice in that corner, is it?
It's not the room, it's that chair. That medium that came out, the taxi fella, said that we had a vortex going right up that room, but he said it was a warm vortex.
I feel very cold over there when I go over there.
Very cold one.
It feels like there's a window. You know when your window's not insulated properly, and it feels like a cold, and you can feel it. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, should we move on to the next room?
Yeah. Now, would you like to go to the left or to the right?
I will leave it entirely up to you.
Right, I'll take you to the left.
Sorry, I'm being a bit slow, I'm just waiting on other people's stairs. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, that cupboard, I'd liken it to a cave. So it feels like, you know, when you're getting punished as a kid, when you used to open in the cupboard.
Yeah. Is it time to move steps?
Yeah. Man's tower.
Just so you get your bearings, this is the room above the kitchen.
I know, it's like a little maze, isn't it?
This room is alive. This is
Yeah,
where we sleep.
I know, I'm getting cold shivers.
I don't know whether you can see it on the camera, but I'm
That's the
literally
ensuite.
going.
But this is where
Goosebumps everywhere.
this
Like
is
close the
where
door?
we get don't like it shut though. See, we've seen that door physically open. But this is the room where we sleep, and it's always cold in here. Even when the heating's on, we still get that draft. And that's the loft where Brian's seen the orbs.
Sorry.
Right, I think you'll have to come round so that you could see them. Is it usually really colder in here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always cold in there. That's that window in the
Is
wall there.
Is it the window? Yeah.
The one that we got from downstairs, yeah.
Do you want to pass us the recorder?
Yeah.
EVP session 5. Why don't you like the door shut? Do you feel trapped? Or are you just nosy? Take it that means you're nosy then. Can you move my lights? Okay. Can you move them again? I was about to ask again, but there we go. Can you take the bottom ones to the red again? You're bored. If you want us to leave, yeah, you want us to leave. I'll say again, if you want us to leave, yeah, you want us to leave your space. It's not happy I'm here. Not happy at all. Kayla, do you want
I'll tell you right now.
to still go mental?
I'm getting do you know that feeling?
Yeah,
Right down, I get that. Right, like something just, I can feel it now.
It feels like I'm getting
Oh my God.
pushed out. So not pushed it, but like a gentle.
Yeah, but you know, since that ensuite's been up and running, I've never used it. I've never used that ensuite because it doesn't feel right in there. And Brian says, I always use the bathroom.
I've just got that, you know that, remember I was explaining before? I've just got that big surge. I'm getting it now.
I think I might have to get a little bit of air in a minute, you know.
Well, this is the room that my friend came in. Going the wrong way. Yeah. Don't be sick on the carpet.
Well, that did not like me in your bathroom. At all.
Now that, as far as we're concerned, is the most haunted room in the house.
Hey, you need to come and take a picture over here now. Oh yeah, it's going.
Do you want to play with this ball?
As soon as you got the ball out.
Is it the little girl? Is it you, the little girl who's here? Can you touch the ball for me? Can you move it? You want to try and move it for me? You want to touch the ball? Do you want me to put it on the floor? If I roll it to you, will you roll it back? Yeah. So I'll roll it to you. Are these floors even? They're not. No. It just doesn't roll.
No.
Can we swing the film?
Sorry.
Right, are you ready? Can you push it back towards me? Can you see that moving?
Yeah, it's moving.
You need to come round here. It's moving. It's stood still, but it's moving.
Like, in the circle on the top, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you move the ball again? Do you want me to roll it to you again? Have you finished playing? And shall I roll it again to you? Can you roll it back?
Thank you.
Can I actually do it again? Yeah. You're gonna push it back?
Do you want to do it again?
Once more.
One more then, no more.
I'm going to try it from the other way because just in case the ball's rolling towards me, I'll try it the opposite way.
The floor might be a fraction out, you see, mightn't it?
Right, you ready?
Ready.
You want to roll it back to me? Can you roll it back towards me?
Should we put it away? You're tired now, yeah? Takes a lot of energy for them to move things.
Once more, okay? And then
One more. So that stopped and then went again.
Yeah, and they see how it rolls straight back to me.
Yeah. And if the floor was that uneven, it'd come straight back to the same place where it went before. because that's quite common as well when antiques are brought into the house sometimes. There'll be no history of a haunt, no history of anything moving. Someone will bring an antique in and all of a sudden things will start to happen. And a lot of the time people don't really associate it. They think a house is haunted.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's not, it's just the...
See, that's why I think, because this is our 9th house. We've moved around a little bit. But most places that we've lived, there's always been something going on. Which was then I found out that I've got a spirit guide.
Well, you're probably you're probably sensitives.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm basically like a beacon to them. If we do an investigation, it's usually me that will pick up. Yeah.
When I went back out to him, he was crying. But not like sobbing crying, just...
He was upset.
Yeah.
He was very upset. So, Michaela, Elm Cottage, how do you feel it went?
Oh yeah, I thought it was alright. It was an experience. I didn't expect to have seen if there's so much to have happened over there.
What was your highlight of the night?
Playing with the ball.
Playing with
I like playing with the ball, yeah. The way it was stopping in different places and moving on the spot, and not like when something moves, it's like maybe rock side to side before it stops. But this was moving backwards and forwards, side to side, round and round.
One thing we noticed from going over the footage is the ball. It had weights in it of some sort.
Yeah, it was weighted.
It was weighted, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think that could have been the weights doing it?
No, because when it was rocking, it was rocking differently. Because I was so close and I could see it. Like, it had like a round bit in the middle, it had like a piece of plastic right round the middle. Yeah. Like when something's fused together and it's got like a seal, it had a seal. Now, if it was the weight, it had just rocked from side to side. It wasn't, it was rocking on that as well, and it was rocking different ways, and it was going round in circles. It wasn't just rocking, it was rotating as well.
What's your opinion of when you rolled the ball and it came back to you?
On the last time I rolled it, it stopped dead in the middle and was moving on the spot. And I don't mean just like rocking side to side, it was actually moving on the spot.
Yeah.
Now, and if the floor was uneven, it had just continued to roll back to where it was. It wouldn't have stopped.
Going over the St. James footage, there was a moment when we were in a tunnel and your mum was talking about demons, and if you noticed the smell of sulphur, at that point the wind did pick up and you made note of that and you said...
Did anybody else notice that the wind started to pick up when you started to talk about the sulphur and the children's voices?
Yeah.
Your mum straight away shut that down by saying we're in a tunnel, it's windy. You seemed a bit here from that.
See, you get caught up. You get caught up in the moment and the excitement of what's going on around you. And when you're out on an investigation, you're there to find things. So maybe you're a bit more. Maybe I suppose it's with anyone. You look to find things, and you're more sensitive to your surroundings around you. So I can't. I was gonna say. You're more sensitive to what's around you because you're there to listen and to see.
Yeah. Do you find it quite easy to get carried away?
Yeah, it is easy to get carried away.
You're feeling pretty good about the team right now?
Yeah, it's something for me to do. It breaks up the monotony of everyday life. You get up, you clean, put the kids to bed, you go on a ghost investigation. So...
So do you think it's funny saying that I've been something to do with I'm having a drink? Yeah. Okay. Other than just you know, speaking with Julie and Michaela on the night about it, would there be anything else that would kind of point you towards them speculations?
Me personally, just as when he's not had a drink, I can sort of tell the difference from when he has and when he hasn't normally, and I was on the urge to say that he might have had a drink beforehand and it's kicked in more when he's been outside. I know he's secretly drinking quite a bit, and Julie's finding obviously bottles here there around the house, which leads to the circumstance and he goes to his mum's and comes back hammered.
And that's now like in the present time?
Yeah, and in the past.
Well, going back to Elm Cottage, one highlight that really stands out in my mind is something overcoming Wes.
I didn't feel it, so I can't really, I can put an opinion on it, but I can't say whether that was why he felt sick.
Why, what's your opinion on it?
I don't know, it's just, because I've not seen him on an investigation before. He didn't come to the St James's because he was ill, and he wasn't there very long at this one, so I don't know how he reacts to it, so I couldn't say, oh yeah, well he was sick because of that, or whether he was sick because he was just sick.
Have you spoke to him since Elm Cottage about it?
He doesn't like to talk about. He's not a very personal person. He doesn't like to talk about his feelings. So.
How is he with his health? Is he okay?
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Because like I say, he told us once that he suffers from gastroenteritis a lot.
I do suffer with it quite a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He gets ill quite a lot.
He does, he is sick quite a lot, but not like hospitalised sick, just sick.
Yeah.
Some people are. Some people do get sick quite a bit.
When we were driving down there that night, I felt as if I could smell like he'd had a bevy beforehand. I could smell drink in the car, and there was only me, yourself and Wes in the car.
Well, I did ask my mum. I did ask, and she said she never. But
why would you ask?
Because I just asked in general whether he'd had a drink. He does tend to get more sick after he's had a drink. Not a hangover, but it's... I don't know whether there's issues there or anything, but...
Well,
it's a really touchy subject to speak about, to be honest.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I only live around the corner, but I don't see them very often with having the girls. I see them as much as I can, but I don't know what goes on.
Is it a touchy subject with your mum?
No,
Was she pissed?
Yeah.
About Wes?
Yeah.
Talking about Wes, I mean?
Yeah, it is, at the minute.
Is it, yeah?
Yeah.
I'd really love to see him on an investigation. Because he's a very interesting guy, and the things he's told, he's very keen.
Funnily enough, the next place that I've lined up is a pub.
What have you done with your Ouija board?
It's just sitting in the house, isn't it, right?
Yeah, it is. It's in the
Do me a favour. Cover it with sage.
Yeah.
Scares me.
To be fair though, when we had a practice of it, we got nothing from it. So does that mean
You've
that
done it?
we had a practice of it in Brian's house?
Oh dear. This is going to sound horrible. It's people like you that dabble. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Don't.
No, we're not.
Stop.
Not going to use it again. We only used it to do like a little practice run. So we were going to do something with it in the documentary, but it's kind of not happened now.
Oh dear. Don't ever touch it again. Oh, you haven't used it, have you?
We
Ryan,
did. Yeah, we
you've
did.
used that, have you?
We did use it, yeah.
Oh dear.
No.
I think we got away with it.
Yeah.
It was a few weeks ago, and
Guess what?
nothing's happened to me.
You done it before Elm Cottage. You done it before Elm Cottage, didn't you?
No, we done it after.
Well, I got followed home.
We done it after now.
Was it? I think it was.
Okay.
No, it was.
So,
it was
why have
before.
you got someone sitting over your shoulder, Ryan? That's pressing on your left shoulder. It's going, You always feel like someone's laughing at you.
Like literally, or?
Yeah. You always feel like someone's laughing at you. It doesn't matter what you do. What did you do?
What did we ask?
Oh dear.
You
asked?
Yeah, we asked questions, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Do you think that's bad?
You kidding me?
Well, like I said, you've got a different idea on it than I
Ryan.
have, so,
Look on any single site you want to.
yeah.
It's Paul. Doesn't matter what religion.
Yeah.
It's Paul. You've got to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You don't want a Ouija board in your house, one.
Okay.
Ryan, do me a favour. Don't throw it in the river. Don't bury it. Don't. You've got to treat the Ouija board with respect.
So when compared with the other investigations that you've had in the house over the years, spiritualist mediums and such, how would you say S.H.I.T performed at Elm Cottage?
Great. What S.H.I.T done was obviously totally different to what we've had in the past.
The reason why we believe that what they said was true was because we've had 3 or 4 different people's views, and they all basically come back to the same thing.
Yeah.
That there are people here. We believe there's a man, there's a woman, maybe 2 women, possibly 2 men, we don't know, and definitely a little girl, which when the investigation team came round, we made contact with that little girl, which was really, really inspiring and exciting to watch. We still love living in this house. It's been a happy house for us. Nothing bad's ever happened. Interesting to note, since the team came out, we were experiencing horrible smells in this room. They have disappeared, as if by magic.
You can come say you're a non-believer. Well, it's not a case of not believing anything. You see what you see, you hear what you hear, and you just take a view on it. You know, if something happens, somebody touches you on your shoulder, well, you're going to pretend that didn't happen. You know, if you hear somebody run down the landing, which you've done quite often, let's pretend that we didn't hear. Well, we did hear that. You know, and strange things happen. You see things. You know, it's not a case of you don't believe it. Well, you're just fooling yourself, isn't it? If you see something, you've got to say, I've just seen something. Don't pretend you didn't see it, because it doesn't necessarily make sense.
It'd be good to have a night camera in here all the time, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, it's funny watching Paranormal Activity tonight, you know, the film. But you know what? You can relate to it.
Thanks for inviting us into your home one last time. We weren't meant to be here tonight. What happened?
I don't know, to be honest. I spoke to Mum earlier and she asked could we reschedule because something's happened between her and my. She didn't really go into detail.
Just to clarify, tonight was supposed to be the bookend of what could be the end of the documentary. It was very important, at least I got the impression that it was important to your mum.
Well, so did I. I mean, so I spoke to her up until about 15 minutes before she cancelled, and she was ready to go and she was ready to leave, and then I don't know what happened.
How did she sound when you spoke to her?
Inebriated. And she's had a bit of drink, like.
Last time we went round to your mum's and we were set to do an interview. It was like a follow-up to Elm Cottage with both your mum and Wesley. And when we got there, your mum, she wasn't well, she was drunk. But again, that night she knew we were due to go.
Sometimes she just can't help herself. It's as simple as that, isn't it? She just can't help herself.
Kev called me before to deliver the bad news that your mum and Wes weren't coming. He mentioned that you were that disappointed, you said you didn't want to carry on with shit any further. Was that heat of the moment?
No, that's not what I said. What I said was I didn't want to carry on with while they're being like that.
Being like
because
what?
If they
flaky?
Yeah, because if they're not putting 100% into it, but they're still doing it, what's the point in me putting 100% into it for nothing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what goes through it sometimes. I don't know. It's hard to. It's hard to explain if you say something.
Well, to me, it's a lot of it is down to the ale. Which I'm not gonna lie,
No,
do you know
it's
what I
not.
mean?
That's not. Wasn't the question. It was. I mean, it's
Could it be anything to do with a relationship with Wesley?
It has. It's been trying over the last couple of months. I think with everything he's got going on, which, to be honest, I don't know what he's got going on, but I know there's something. We're not privileged to that information.
When we first started talking to Wesley, we were under the impression that they were Bootle's answer to Ed and Lorraine Warren. Wesley seemed as
I don't know that.
paranormal investigators and demonologists, Americans. Your mum will know about them. But what I'm trying to say is Wes seemed very into it, especially the demonology.
When it comes to demonic, there's no guarantee. There's definitely no guarantee. That's when you've got trouble. That's when, everything goes to hell, basically, If you're going into a place thinking that, okay, it's haunted, we've heard stories about the devil, that's when you really got to worry. If I'm going into it, right, it's all make-believe, There's things out there that's never been human that, really harm people.
He seemed to know his stuff.
Yeah, they're not saying they're not into it, it's just circumstance at the moment. It's like she might seem alright, but she's not well at all. She really is not well. And I think it gets to her sometimes. And she tries to deal with it by drinking.
Cards on the table, do you think he's an alcoholic?
I think there's an issue there, but
I wouldn't say alcoholic, but
I wouldn't say an alcoholic,
he's
but I think there is a bit of an issue with it.
I wouldn't say an alcoholic, but I wouldn't say he wasn't, if you know what I mean.
Do you think the drink could have something to do with why he's been so flaky with us?
Could be. The way Wes is now, 18 months ago he wasn't like that.
No.
I mean, the kids used to stay all the time. Well, Lissy used to stay all the time. Maybe she wanted to, she could stay there, but now it's not too much, is it?
No, I think it's not just that, but we don't feel comfortable now at the minute, the way things are, to leave the baby in.
it's not that I don't feel comfortable, it's more the way...
Alright, you don't, but I do.
It's more, like as I say, with their sleeping pattern, and they're in bed when not when they should be up, but when normal people are up, you know what I mean? And Lissy's picking up on that. She's not little anymore. She knows. Like, well, Mum, why are we going to be Naz as much? I don't know whether it's just, as I say, 18 months ago it was completely different. If this had been 18 months ago, it would have been completely different.
And if your mum couldn't take it any further, would you take the mantle? Would you step forth and be Michaela Foy, paranormal investigator, leader of shit?
No, I don't know. I mean, if it came to that and there was the demand there for it, you know what I mean? If we had a bit of a momentum and then my mum was backed up, then I probably would, because I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, we have, haven't we?
Yeah, I want to say it's something to do together, and then when the kids get bigger, they can start doing it.
Even the Catholic Church acknowledges ghosts, and they'll do exorcisms, and they've actually just sanctioned a new bishop for exorcisms. So the Catholic Church believe in it, the Pentecostals do. I'm not sure about Jehovah's Witnesses, I've never asked one, because I don't get them knocking anymore. I opened the door and said I'm a witch, and you trust stuff down the path and the house has been blacklisted.
Your soul, it is so, my friend, so cross over the road. So do as you're told, my friend, and cross over the road. You can't go hiding in the pines, 'cause he sees everything and he can feel each and every pain. There's no escape, you're out of time. Taking everything you ever loved, my friend, cross over the road. There's every chance he's taking you down before you're old. Don't be part of his dance, my friend, so cross over the road. You can't go hiding in the pines, 'cause he sees everything